Okay, so you guys know Elon Musk, yeah, the richest man in the world right now. Well, man actually brought in some claims against South Africa. And that was wild. This thing was very wild. People were talking about it. We'll see what he says. He came tweeting on his app, his own app, saying, Starlink is not allowed to operate in South Africa because I'm not black. Yo, Elon, really? Well, my name is Vidashi. This is the African time. This is something that was actually everywhere on the social media platforms when Elon Musk shared this. You all know how people take racism too, okay? They believe that this was extreme racism or racist, and why is South Africa government doing this? So this also happened. When this was shared, a person or South African came and says, breaking, Starlink is now allowed to operate in South Africa as long as it agrees to the 30% local ownership policy, which applies to all foreign companies that want to conduct business in South Africa. Okay, so this is actually the main basic thing here that we are crying here, or that Elon Musk was crying here. It is believed that if any foreign country or company that's to invest in South Africa, you need to agree to some policies here. The policies is you need to agree that the 30% of your company should be owned by local people, okay, or the government or local people too. And Elon Musk, that seems like he doesn't want to comply to that. And a man believed that to him, he believed that is a racial or racist thing. But South Africans made this easier. But hey, one who asks, what will actually make Elon Musk trigger to share that to the open world? Because the statement he made was actually serious, saying South Africa is not allowed to, Starlink is not allowed to operate in South Africa because I'm not black. That is a very serious claim here. And man is one of the most vocal person on Twitter that you don't really want to hear that from. Well, all right, so all this came about when Elon Musk actually quoted this post. He actually quoted this post and said that the main tweet was, South Africa is on the edge of a socialist abyss. Well, we'll see the video, what they were actually discussing and what actually brought in for Elon Musk to said what he said. Watch this.
140 race-based laws in South Africa, all anti-white. And 8 days ago, Cyril Ramaphosa, our president, signed into law, and just hear these three words, expropriation without compensation. And this is just the straw that broke the camel's back. There's been endless laws, anti-white, boiling us like a frog in a bowl. And all I can say is thank you, America, and thank you, Donald Trump, for taking notice, because we are on the edge of the socialist abyss.
So how do you guys get out of this? Obviously, there's a complex racial history there. How do you reverse some of this? I mean, that's an awful lot of laws, and
I don't think we can internally. We have to wait till the 2029 national election, and I don't think our economy will survive. It requires some external dynamic to change it. And I think Donald Trump and America taking notice and coming in swinging with a baseball bat may be that dynamic we need.
So when you saw over the last couple of years in America, wokeness infecting our systems, and suddenly we were focused on race and we were putting it into it was this very people who said we were systemically racist that were putting racism into the system in a systemic way. It must have given you a little concern about the direction we're going, as much as that's now been rolled back.
Well, we've been infected in South Africa with the evil woke mind virus way more than in America. We've got it times 2. And there's no momentum in South Africa to reverse it. In fact, it's quite the opposite.
Okay, well, frankly speaking, it's sad. And these are 2-point narrative here that is actually one of the biggest issue in Africa right now, in South Africa too. This racial disparity and then wealth inequality is actually getting South Africa so crazy these days, and they are always in the news. I don't know, ever since Donald Trump came in, there have been a backlash between Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and the Afrikaners and South Africa and the government. It's very serious. It's very, very serious here. And sometimes you don't even know what is the object or what actually some people are actually pushing for. It's a huge thing right here, and I think it's very, very critical and political that you need to be careful when you actually dive into this matter. But surprisingly, or beautifully, or should I say shockingly, when Elon Musk shared this, something also broke up on the internet. We'll see this. The president of South Africa shared this on his Twitter page saying, Microsoft plans to train 1 million South Africans in AI skills, machine learning and cybersecurity by 2026, immensely encouraging. Yep, that was actually what the president of South Africa, His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa, also shared this. But I want to ask, what does that even mean? Well, this is what it means. So, by the African Fast Zone people, they says Microsoft will invest $298.7 million to expand its cloud and AI capacity in South Africa by 2027. Microsoft have now invested around $1.1 billion in building data centers in South Africa in the last 3 years. This will put Microsoft's SA investment at $1.427 billion in the next 5 years. Okay, so that is it. So basically, why is always Starlink complaining? Because of he believes he's not black. That is why his company is not being allowed in South Africa. But here we are having a Microsoft, another American company given a chance and also ready to operate in South Africa. What is wrong, Elon? At the comment section, let me know what you think and why do you think Elon is doing this. And also, let me know what is happening in South Africa too. The name is Vrashi. Thank you for your time.